Well, hello everyone. I want to do a quick video on some repairs and modifications I did to my press brake. Got this project here that customer wanted these two-foot extensions added to the seed wagon, and after I bent the first one, ran into some issues with the press brake, both as far as using it and parts that needed to be rebuilt. As you can see, those vertical lines every 5 inches, those are the marks left by the press brake that I used to curve that, or make those curved panels. That's 12 gauge, and I forgot to check to see. I would say that's the maximum of the press. If I'm thinking even maybe 14 gauge might be, so I'm pushing the limits to begin with. So let's go in the shop and I'll show you what I was doing. Okay, here's my finger brake. Well, of course it's an import. It's I guess better than nothing. It served me. I haven't had a lot of use, but it's been nice to have. Just a few issues with it. First thing I did when I first bought it is I built this little base, and you can slide the pallet fork there underneath there, and I kind of keep it back out of the way unless I have some long panels, and I can bring it out in the open here. Makes it convenient. The issue I was having, those panels were 10 feet long, and of course you had a roller back here to support it, and you know, reaching down there to grab those handles I guess if you're young and nimble, possible, but when had the piece out here, of course you have to get up underneath the piece to grab them, and so obviously the easiest thing to do is to use the counterbalance here. But as you can see, the original bars didn't last very long. They bent. I mean, they were already bent a little bit. I've straightened them, and then they eventually gave out on the first piece. So because of the thickness there, no way to drill that out for a bigger, I think that's around 7/8 rod that was originally in there. So all I did was take the 1 inch. This is a hot roll, and I turned down so it fits in there snug. Little set screw there, and up here at the top, turn that down so that these weights will fit on there. And I was a little bit concerned that these still may bend, and I was going to add a piece back here, a piece like this for support, but I did the other three of those panels, and I can't see any movement in that or flex in this 1 inch rod, so I think that pretty much solved that. The next issue was, come on, just had these little oilers on here, and if anybody knows, I use those, they're a pain to get any oil in there, and just not a real big fan of the oil filled grease is better. So while I had this off, I was able to drive that pin out. It was already starting to walk. I don't know if these set screws were loose or what, but anyway, that tells me that there's quite a bit of friction in there. So like I say, drove that pin out, drilled and tapped it for the it does 1/8 inch pipe thread, and put a grease zerk in those, and so, did the same thing over here, and a very notable difference as far as friction on operating this thing. Then the other issue that I had is the handles for the clamp. You had to get everything lined up and then walk over here and clamp this one down and then come all the way back over here and clamp, because they're independent of each other, and that got to be if you're working with a short, or I guess a narrow piece, where you can lock one side and just operate the other side and slide your material in and out with no problem, unless you're doing a box or something in the like where you need to open this all the way up to get your piece out. He had to open up both sides. So what I did was I don't know, that's one by, I believe, 3-inch tubing. I just welded 2 nuts for a set screw to hold it on there. It fits in there nicely. The screws also took up a little extra space in there. And this is the piece, 1 5/8 DOM. And what that allows you to do, you can reach up here and yeah, there it is, all the way open. And I tell you, that that made this press so much more enjoyable to operate. If somebody wanted to take a look at that, I highly recommend. You know, my original thought was that this would take a lot of, you know, if I'm over here on this side, it would take a lot of torque on the other side to keep this even. Now, I don't know, I think this is 120 wall, and it's more than heavy enough or rigid enough to operate this. So far, maybe I don't get real aggressive on the tightness, I don't know. But anyway, that's what I know so far. Definitely made an improvement. Well, thanks for watching.